Right, we're live. Can y'all hear me? This working? All right, I'm gonna assume you guys can hear me. If you can't hear me, let me know in the chat. Welcome. We're live. We're live. It's Sunday, August 25th. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Alex Jaramillo. I've been a barber since 2014. I've been a barbershop owner since 2015. And I've personally hired and trained hundreds of barbers at this point and done over $4.5 million in revenue and counting. And the reason I do these calls and have the free barber school group, which you can see right here, is because I want to be the person for you guys that I wish I had when I was first getting started. Help you avoid some of the pain, some of the mistakes that I went through, and help you get to your barber goals a lot faster. And if that sounds interesting to you, I have a free group called the Barber Mastermind. This is the website if you want to go there. And the way these Q&A calls typically work is I will start by answering the pre-submitted questions that were in the school group. And then if you have a question that you'd like me to answer, just type it in the chat, and then I will get to it once I finish answering the pre-submitted questions that were in the school group. So just type it in the chat. And once I finish answering those first few questions that were pre-submitted, then I will go to the chat and start answering questions. But you guys don't have to wait on me. If you see another question in the chat that I haven't answered yet, and you feel like you can help that person out, feel free to respond to their questions. We're all here to help each other grow. So I'm going to share my screen so you guys can see what I'm seeing. I'm at the shop today doing some maintenance. And here we go. Share my screen. All right. So like I mentioned, this is the Barber Mastermind, the school group that I run. Has almost 500 members in it and growing. So it's 100% free to join. There is a bunch of content in here. Some of it's free, some of it's paid, but you can unlock 99% of this stuff just by simply engaging in the community, posting questions, answering other people's questions, getting likes, getting comments. Super easy to move up. You don't have to pay a single dollar ever to be part of this group. It's 100% free. All right, so I'm going to try to find the post where I ask people to submit their questions. Get into it. So here, no. Here it is. Okay. Can y'all hear me? I can't see you. All right. If you can't hear me, let me know. I'm going to start by answering these pre-submitted questions. All right. So Bernard wants to know, what are some good marketing techniques that help build clientele? So Bernard, it just depends on your situation. And before I get into the answer for that question, I think when it comes to marketing, you have to when it comes to any question, you have to consider the person that's answering the question. They're always going to give you the advice for what worked for them, right? So when I answer your question right now, I'm going to be sharing what worked for me, but what worked for me might not work for you. And if you ask another barber or another barbershop owner, they might give you a completely different answer. And I think that you should take that as marketing works. All marketing works. It's just a question of which one is best for you in your situation and your resources, right? Because marketing costs either time or money or both, right? So if you don't have time, then you got to spend money. If you don't have money, then you got to spend time, right? But either way, all marketing works. Social media works, paid ads work, flyers work, business cards work. I mean, word of mouth works. It all works. It's just a question of being consistent and the skill level that you have currently when it comes to marketing and your resources. Like, so if you don't have money, then you got to do the free stuff, right? But when I was thinking about this question when you first submitted it, I think I want to show you guys how we get our clients. And I've never shown anybody this before, so hopefully, don't make me regret this. So I'm going to share this tab right now so you can see. And let's see. Can you guys see this? Hopefully you can see this. Yes, you can. Okay. Let me know if you can't see this. All right. So this is our website analytics. So most of the clients that come to us usually start by going to our website first. Not always. Some people just see us on Google and just come in, but a lot of the clients go to our website first. So first of all, if you don't have a website, um, it doesn't cost that much money to get started, and it's called Squarespace. So with Squarespace, I mean anybody can build a website in just a few minutes, and then over time, of course, you'll learn how to make it better. Like, it doesn't need to be perfect. Don't compare your website to like barbershops that have full time people that work on this thing. Like, all you need is basically who you are, where you are, what you do, and think of any question that somebody might ask, try to answer it on the website to give them more reasons to want to come in, right? But anyways, one of the things that really any website host will do is basically show you the website analytics. So how are people finding you? Let me move this over here. How are people finding your website? And I wanted to show you guys. So this is the last 30 days, as you can see right there in the top right. Most people are going directly to our website, which means they're typing in houseofshaves.com. That's the name of my barbershop, House of Shaves Barbershop. So they're going to houseofshaves.com. So in the last 30 days, almost 2,700 people typed in houseofshaves.com, and that's how they went to our site. I don't actually know the reason why that is, but I think it could be that we've spent almost the last 9 years telling everybody to go to the website. So, the website's been the same since the very beginning, and it didn't look anything like it looks like right now. But that's just 9. So you got to keep that in mind. Like, marketing takes time, branding takes time. So did it look like this on day one? Absolutely not. Hold on one moment. Let me just I don't know why somebody is calling right now. We are supposed to be closed. All right. Hopefully I don't remember to what the heck? All right. Somebody just called and we're closed. So we're actually going to be opening Sundays. So that's a good sign that maybe there is it's going to be worth it to be open on Sundays. Sorry about that. But anyways, houseofshaves.com, right? People went directly there for most of the traffic that comes to our site. And the second most is Google. So I think that a lot of barbers forget how powerful Google is. And, that's fine with me, right? But we tend to go straight to social media. And I think Google is way, way, way more powerful because you're getting in front of those people that are actively looking for a new barber or a new barbershop. So this is how our clients are finding our shop. It's usually most people are going directly to the website, but a lot of people are just finding us organically on Google. So don't forget about Google. Getting reviews, getting testimonials, just Google. Even if you're independent, don't do this if you work for somebody else. Like, if you're an employee, you don't need your own Google listing. But if you're independent, you own your own barbershop, you should definitely have a Google My Business. And then there should be pictures on there. You should be posting stuff regularly. There should be reviews. It should be all the information the client needs to find you and do business with you. So that's the second most where we get our traffic from our customers come from Google, right? And then third and fourth place are Facebook and Instagram, right? And I don't even think that this would be as high as it is if we weren't running paid ads. So I think this is counting like the paid ads that we're running. So right now I just turned the budget up. We're spending like around $250 a day on Facebook and Instagram ads. So even that, both of those combined might not even compare to Google. So keep that in mind. Like, we are spending a lot of money on Facebook and Instagram, but most of our traffic still comes directly from people typing in the website and Google. So don't forget about Google. And then everything else, like this is like Yelp and other websites. So hopefully you found that helpful, Bernard. But I would say what worked for me was focusing on reviews from the very beginning, right? Because the thing with Google is these are people that are looking, Like they want a new barber. They are actively looking for a new barbershop. So if you're not getting in front of those people, then you're missing on those opportunities. People have to be able to find you, and then you have to basically give them proof of like why they should come in, and that's the reviews, that's the pictures, right? So I would say for me personally, most of the traffic comes from Google and then Facebook and Instagram, but that's because we're running paid ads. Do we get clients from social media like organically? Yes, I think in the last like week or so, we've had at least 2 people that came in while I was in the shop that said they found us on like TikTok or something like that. So, but compared to the other traffic sources, like you guys just saw, I mean, it's not even close. Like social media works, of course, but I think it's a way more long-term strategy. And the way I think of social media is basically to support the ads, because if somebody sees your ads, then it's unlikely that they're just gonna like come in the second they see your ad. Sometimes people need like proof, like who is this person that I keep seeing on my feed, right? Think of the last time you saw an ad on your whatever platform you go on regularly. Do you always just immediately click on the ad and spend money? Like probably not. Like you're probably going to do some research on those people and go to their social media or go to their website, go to their Google listing if they're a local business, right? So all this stuff actually works together. So you can get clients just by using social media, but I think that if you don't have the Google backing you up, Google, Yelp, if you don't have any sort of paid ads running, I mean, it's good. It's just going to be harder. Like you can get clients just from social media. There are people out there, they'll find your stuff and come in, and and it's like, that happened to me. That happens to my barbers, because they're just like, I had one the other day that the barber was just like, I haven't posted a picture in like a year. And somebody came in and showed me the picture. I'm like, it works. People will find your stuff and look at you. They're not always going to like it. They're not always going to follow you, but people are seeing your stuff, right? So I would say start with based on where you are, right? So Google for me is the way I get the most clients, followed by paid ads, and then I would say maybe organic social media after that. You can also use your existing clients, if you have some, to get new clients. Those are called referrals. And you can give them an incentive, but basically, if you already have people coming to you, you can just ask them to refer their friends. And then if they refer their friends, then you grow without spending any money, right? And your clients are helping you get more new clients. And I would say when it comes to paid ads, don't do it unless you have help, right? Or don't, if you're going to do it, if you're insistent on trying paid ads, start with a really, really small budget, because it's so easy to waste money on paid ads. Like it's very, very easy to blow a lot of money, right? Because in the beginning, you're probably not going to know what you're doing. And if you just let the budget go crazy, I mean, it's just going to be so expensive, and you're not going to get anything back in return, right? You're just blowing money. That's why, if you think about it, like that's the reason why these companies are so big, these social media companies. And if you look at where they put the effort in terms of the way their ads are set up, like they put most of the effort on making it really, really easy for you to get started, right? They don't really put as much effort into making sure that you're successful with the ads. They just want to make it easy for you to spend money. So don't go into paid ads without some help. And if you insist on doing it by yourself, then start with a really, really small budget, because otherwise it's really easy to blow money on paid ads. So hopefully that helped, Bernard. You can also just DM people one-on-one with Instagram. You can just find somebody in your area and just DM them. I mean, that's free. Posting on social media is free. Handing out business cards, flyers, free. So you're either gonna have to spend time or money, like I said, when it comes to marketing. So focus on whatever you have more of and start there, and then be consistent with it, right? Because a lot of barbers get into the habit of posting on social media, and then until they get busy, right? And then they stop. And then when it slows down again, then they start posting again. You don't want to do that, right? Because you have to always keep in mind that it's very unlikely that you're gonna always have like that you're gonna have 100% retention. It's just probably never gonna happen. I've never seen it. You can have high retention, but it'll never be 100%, which means you're gonna be losing clients at some point, and you have to be able to replace those clients. And so that's why you never want to turn the marketing off. Just always market. All right. So hopefully that helped answer your question. Let's move on to the next. All right. So Chris wants to know, shave question, is the one blade really illegal? I heard if you sanitize it before, we should be okay. So, and then, yeah, I was trying to clarify here. What do you mean by one blade? So conventional straight razor is what he's talking about. Is the conventional straight razor really illegal? I was actually looking at this the other day, and in each state is actually regulated differently. So I'm in Florida, so I can only speak for Florida. There's actually no law that I could find in the Florida law that said that the conventional straight razor is illegal. In the barbershop, like in my shop, we all use the blade, the shavettes, where you change the blade out. The reason why is because the law does say that it needs to be sanitized and disinfected in between each client. And in order to truly sanitize or really sterilize a blade, that requires basically an extreme heat, like a they call it an autoclave. It's an oven. And so like dental practices and everything, they take their tools, the surgery when they do pull your tooth or whatever, they're gonna take all those tools and they're gonna throw them in an oven that's gonna heat it up really high so that it completely sterilizes the entire surface of that tool. So if you aren't doing that, then the blade really isn't clean. So therefore, it makes more sense to just change the blade. So that's why we do that in the shop, and why most barbers do that, because you also have to sharpen those blades, right? So that means you have to hone and strop it like the old school barbers. So it's really more of a matter of like, it's not very practical to use a conventional straight razor in the barbershop unless you have a ton of them, right? Because I've even considered doing this because I'm always looking for ways to cut costs. I thought, well, what if we all had like the conventional straight razor and we just had like 100 of them, and then we would just throw, just like dental practices do, and then just throw them all in the oven, regularly to sterilize them, and then we would never have to buy razor blades again. Because then if you are buying razor blades that you're changing between each client, then you also have to dispose of those, right? Which means you need sharps containers, and that's an added cost. So you can, I don't know, maybe you guys want to try it. I don't think we'll be trying this anytime soon, but in theory, you could have an autoclave, something that can sterilize the blade and have enough blades, enough conventional razors so that you can use a brand new one or a clean one, sterilized one for each client. And then you throw the used one in the autoclave to sterilize it, right? And then in theory, you would never be able to, you'd be compliant with the law, and you would not have to use the same blade on each client more than once. But again, that's not very practical, right? So which is why we don't do it. We use the regular blades, the regular ones that you snap in half, and we change them between each client. It's just easier, right? So I don't think that at least in Florida, the conventional straight razor is actually illegal. But it's just a question of, if you're not going to sterilize it in between each client, it's probably better and way less risky to just put it, just use a shavette where you can change the blade out for each client. If you're not doing that, and then you're risking infecting your client with something, right? And that's really the only thing that at least the state of Florida cares about, is that just don't get people sick. Like, they don't even care if barbers can cut hair. Like the entire the entire test to become a barber in the state of Florida, there's like 20 questions, and like 18 of those questions are on sanitation. Like they don't care about whether you can cut hair or not. All they care about is that you're not getting people sick. So hopefully that helped answer your question about the conventional straight razor, Chris. You can use it, but I would advise against that. It's just not worth it for me. And I'm just gonna continue to probably always use the changeable blade razors. It's just easier, it's faster, and it's safer, right? It's not something that you want to be cheap with, right? There's things that you can find. There's definitely ways that you can find to cut costs in the barbershop. I don't think that that should be where you start, right? I think there's other ways you could probably cut costs besides worrying about the type of blade that you're using. All right, so hopefully that helped answer your question, Chris. Let's see what else is going on in the community. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this so far. I'm not seeing any questions coming in yet. So let's see what else is going on in the community. All right. So Caitlin had asked, what are some effective ways of getting new clientele? My shop is inside Phoenix Salon Suites. Don't get walk-ins very rarely. So struggling making new clients. All right, so I'm going to help you out, Caitlin, because one of the things that I see a lot with people that are doing the sweet things, and it's unfortunate, but a lot of people when they leave the barbershop or leave a salon, it might the first 6 months at your suite might be great, but then you realize like, oh crap, like I have to worry about getting more clients now. And like I was telling Bernard earlier, like you're always going to have clients coming and going, right? Or going rather, because nobody is going to stay forever, right? And people might follow you in the beginning because it's new and they want to support you. You've been cutting their hair for years or whatever. But the reality is most people choose their barber based on convenience. So the second that you become even slightly inconvenient, you're going to start to notice people maybe start to stretch out their haircut times, like they're not coming in as frequently. And eventually they may stop coming altogether because they probably met you originally because of the place that you were working in, like the barbershop or the salon that you were in had a good reputation and you just happened to be working there. And then you just happened to be the one that cut their hair and they ended up liking you. And when you went on your own, they followed you to support you. But the reality is most people, when they leave a barbershop, they lose about half their clients at least, right? Even if it's right down the road, because people we're a commodity business, whether you like it or not. People do not think about their hair as much as you might think. Like we think about it all day, right? But to them, a lot of them, it's just a chore that some of them don't even look forward to getting their haircut. So when you're asking somebody now to go even further out of their way to go with their haircut, they're way less likely to actually do it unless they're super, super loyal. So when you go and do your own thing in a suite, you have to constantly be thinking about marketing, because you're going to have people, especially in that first year, a lot of people are going to stop coming to you. Even the people that you thought were super, super loyal, like this guy's never going to leave. Those are usually with some of the first people that go. Like it's hard to really predict like who's going to be loyal and who's not. And as a business, like I have to worry about these things too, because clients are going to come and go. And I just have to think about, okay, this is how many people I need to bring in this month to replace the ones that we lost last month, And then as long as you're bringing in enough clients to replace the ones that you lost, then you'll be fine, right? And then if you're bringing in more clients than what you're losing, then your business is growing. So if you are not marketing right now, Caitlin, you really need to be thinking about doing that. You can do the same tactics that I mentioned to Bernard earlier. So if you're not on Google my business, it's free. I mean, I don't know if you're not on Google My Business, how are people even going to how are your existing customers even going to find you and leave you reviews and things like that? Don't be so reliant on these booking apps. If you're using a booking app, that's fine, that's great, but it's not. You want to have something outside of that, right? Because what if you want to stop using that app one day? You're going to lose all those reviews. So that's why I think it's super important to be on Google, be on Yelp, be on Facebook, stay active on social media. You don't have to post every single day, but being active just means like, at least maybe once a week, you're throwing something on there just to show people that you're still cutting, that you're a real business, and that you can help them with their hair too. So I think that one of the best ways to find clientele is to be active on Google, and the fastest way is paid ads. But like I was telling Bernard earlier, if you are not skilled in paid ads, I would not recommend it, or at least start with a really, really small budget. And if you want help with the paid ads, I know somebody that can help you. They help set up my ads. Just shoot me a message in the school group. I'll share the information with you, but don't do paid ads because unless you know what you're doing or unless you have help, because it's really, really easy to blow your money. So hopefully that helped you, Caitlin. I mean, it's really, really difficult. I mean, I've never done a suite, but I have to not just worry about my own chair, right? I have to fill everybody else's chair too. So right now we have 8 chairs at each shop. So I have 16 chairs total. And I have to worry about filling every single one of those chairs to max capacity. So I wish all I had to do was worry about my chair, right? And I'm not saying that as any sort of disrespect. It's just the reality. Like, you only need enough people to just keep yourself busy. So figure out whatever that tactic is, whether it's social media, whether it's reaching out to people one on one, whether it's just old school passing out business cards. It might be that you need to go back to the barbershop too to learn those skills. Like, there's nothing wrong with working at a barbershop, guys. Like, some people are just so like, I want to get out on my own, like, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you don't have the skills of marketing, and if you're not retaining clients, then you're not going to make it on your own. That's simply what it comes down to. Like, you're running your own business now. It's not just like that you're on your own. You are also running a business. So now, in addition to cutting hair, you also have to worry about all the things that your last barbershop owner was doing for you. One of those, filling your chair, right? So now you have to do that stuff. It means when you're running a business, especially in the beginning, you're working double time. There's no such thing as a day off. So if you guys are ever thinking about opening a barbershop, then you have to keep in mind that there is no such thing as a day off anymore. You're working every single day, especially in the beginning, because nobody knows who you are. Nobody knows where you are. And it takes years to finally convince people to come give you a shot. So if you're on your own, especially in a suite, you really need to be working double time. There's no such thing as a day off. So whenever you're not cutting hair, in my opinion, you should be marketing until you are too busy to market. So either you're cutting hair or you're marketing, one of those. And there is no such thing as a day off. And if you really do embrace that and you have that mindset, then you will probably succeed, right? But even then, like, the odds are against you. So, I mean, I've never done a suite, but I think that, me personally, I don't like the business model, right? For myself, but also just in general, I think that most people do it too early, and that you need to really have the skill of marketing and retention and a lot of 10 other skills before it makes sense to do a suite on your own, because you're running your own business. I mean, so essentially, if you don't know how to run a business, it might not be a good time yet. All right, so let's see what else is going on in the school group. Let me share my screen. And I'm going to go till about 12, or until the last question is answered, whichever comes first. So let's see. We answered Caitlin's question. So Sebastian had asked about a barbershop management software. I really, really love Zenoti. So it's called Zenoti or Zenoti. It's Zenoti. We switched to Zenoti back in 2021, I believe. And it's actually a really, really complicated software. So, but the reason I like it is because it does all the marketing for you. It's a point of sale system, POS. It has an appointment book. We have a free app that people can download to book an appointment. Um, and I compared it to almost everything else out there. And there are some other really, really good softwares like um, Mevo 2 from Millennium is a really good one. Forest with a PH, Forest is a really good software. Uh, there's a lot of good ones out there, but when I did a pros and cons list and I compared features, and I ended up going with Zanati, and I think it was one of the best decisions I ever made. We use Square for like most of the time that we've been in business, and Square is actually a really, really great software. It's just that the reason why we switched from Square is because when I started working with a coach, and they started asking me like, what's your pre-booking percentage? What's your retail to total sales percentage? What's your client retention? What's this number? What's that number? And I didn't know, right? I couldn't answer the question because Square didn't track that stuff. Square is really good at tracking sales, but it's not good at really anything else beyond that. And so when I started searching for softwares that could track those things, it can essentially grow with the business. I stumbled on Zenati and I compared it with everything else out there. And it wasn't the cheapest software, and it's definitely not the easiest one to learn how to use. But in my opinion, it's the best one. So I don't think I'll ever leave Zenati. I mean, unless something way better comes out. I think that we're going to stay with Zenati because it's just an amazing software. So I strongly recommend Zenati, but if you just need something simple, easy to use, then I would go with Square. I've used some other softwares like Vagaro was one that I've used. I've used Squire. What else? Those are the main ones. I think we tried like one or two others, but those are the ones you might have heard of. And I didn't like Vagaro and Squire as much. So, and then we kept going back to Square. Like we had Square, then we would try something new. We didn't like it, and then we switched back to Square. And then the important thing to think about with software is that it's really expensive to switch. Not in terms of not in always in terms of money expense, but just in terms of the effort that it takes to learn the new software. Because not only do you have to learn it, your clients have to learn how to use it to book an appointment with you now. The barbers, if you have a barbershop, they have to learn how to use it, and then you have to learn how to use it too. And that so it's a big deal to switch software. So I think it took like probably 3 months of research, of me doing the research, because I didn't want to switch again, because I had done it so many times that I had found that the next software that we're going to use is going to be the last one that we switch to. It's going to be the one that we use basically forever. So unless something way, way better comes along in terms of way better than Zenati, I'm probably never going to leave Zenati just because it's so expensive to switch. And I love it. I mean, it does everything and it's always getting better. So that I highly recommend Zenati. But if you just need something simple that you can train somebody how to use in like 5 minutes, then just go with Square. I mean, nothing wrong with Square. But I strongly recommend Zenati because of those features that I mentioned. But it does way, way more than that. And probably the most powerful thing about Zenati is the marketing aspect. Like one of the things that it does is that if we have a slow day, it'll automatically start texting people in our system that haven't been in a while, and start trying to actively fill the schedule. I mean, that's just one of the 100 reasons why I just love Zenati. And I don't get paid by Zenati, to tell you guys this. I don't have any sort of relationship with them at all. It's just that's what I use. You can go on our website and go to see what it's like to book an appointment. We use Zenati, right? So I don't see any other questions right now in the community. I'm not seeing any questions popping up in the chat. So if you guys don't have any questions, I'm going to hop off. But hope you guys found this helpful. This is the link to my free group. If you want to hop on the next Q&A call, I'm not sure when that'll be, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks from now. But we'll do another one in the future. If you want your questions answered in the future, ask them in the group. Join the group if you're not in it already. It's 100% free, like I mentioned. Appreciate you joining me, and I'll see you on the next one.